Hello, my name's Julie Biggs. I'm the IMS art teacher, and I just have a few things to say and talk about our class, the sixth grade art. I teach art, and I teach sixth grade and seventh grade art. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. Just a minute here. All right. Welcome. If you would like to communicate with me, I welcome any communication. I am easily reached via email, or you can reach me from the messaging Schoology, or if you'd like to do a Google Meet for a phone conference, that's also an option. Just reach out to me. I really appreciate any feedback or communication. So just a little bit about myself. I've been teaching, this is going on my 20th year at Islander Middle School. I've been a teacher for quite a long time, always art. I put in here the things that sort of my interests, but the main thing that I say when people ask, what do I do? I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher first. That's the thing that I really work toward, is to always learn about how I can do a better job with my pedagogy and learning new skills, getting to know the students. And then as an artist, my main focus is photography, but I have done some illustration, and I love dabbling in a lot of different things, which makes being a middle school art teacher a perfect fit for me, because I'm always exploring along with my students. So how do we do Art 6 in a virtual classroom? Well, this has been quite a learning experience for me. The first thing that I'm really excited that we were able to get these art supplies out to the students so that they all had some of the basic things to work with. And of course, if your child already has some art supplies that they would prefer to use, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure everyone had the basics and that we all were working with the same things to make it equitable. So my projects right now are based around using these materials. We will be having a couple more items coming, and hopefully we can get to these. We've got some model magic that I will be getting together in a couple weeks, and an eye pencil that we will be issuing out for the remainder of the trimester for students to borrow while we work on a digital project. So those are two items that I will send out more notice in when we can arrange a pickup time. So yes, my expectation, it creates a village. We all need to work together, and students need to do their part as a virtual classroom community. I really am striving to create this atmosphere, as hard as it is on Zoom, to make it a sacred place for all of us, where we feel totally comfortable and students are sharing their ideas and putting it out there. A lot of what we're doing is thinking about the creative process. So I'm having kids share their work as they go. It's not just the end product, and talking about it with each other. So breakout rooms are really important, and making sure that they are engaged. So doing their job as creative learners, taking risks by learning new content and techniques and practicing those things. It's real easy when I'm not there walking around in the classroom for kids to say, okay, I'm going to do a couple of this and then I'm done. It's really about persistent practice and being kind of like, I want to go for the quality, not just get it done. And the challenge by starting it over again and revising, so that they are learning from each other and seeing what others are doing, and then being self-advocate as asking questions. I had a few kids come to my office hours, which I absolutely am so excited about, because that's the time that I can really sit down and work one-on-one with a student and give them a little bit more advice. I actually have them send me photographs of their work so that I can print it out and then show them on their work what they can adjust or maybe another option, and then I photograph that and send it back to them. So there are definitely ways that we can work. And the other thing that I'm finding that's really exciting for me is to see that everything the students are doing is their own work. I can't come in there. A lot of times I get students saying, Miss Biggs, I need you to do this for me. I can't do this. And I find myself actually adjusting on their work, which isn't necessarily the best practice. So this is their work, they're learning and revising on their own. So it's being growth minded, and we will look at their work in sequence. So we'll see where they started, and then towards the end of the trimester, we'll get a look at all their things and put them together in a final presentation. So I really appreciate your input, your teamwork with us as we go along, and let me know if there's any concerns, if your child seems frustrated or not excited about art. I want to know that too, so that maybe we can work together to make it a really fantastic experience for them. What will we learn? So here are a couple projects. So the students have just completed or will be completing their Hamsa design, which is this hand design right here. And you can see how it's got a lot of lines and a symbol in the middle of one of their favorite interests. And this is, we're in the process of doing that now. So we practice lines and working with the pen and kind of building patterns called Zentangle patterns. We'll be working with animation probably coming up. There's a packet of sticky notes, and that is for our flip books that we'll be doing. And then the Warhol selfies, that will be the digital project, and potentially the 3D Netscape, which we'll be building in the Model Magic. The other options that we have, depending on how long things take, this is a little bit stunted projects just because of the lack of class. We don't have the same amount of class time, but we can do some digital animations and also a watercolor project if we can squeeze that in. All right, and how will they be assessed? So this is the main goal for me, is seeing how students work through the creative process. And again, it goes back to that first learning, getting new ideas, stretching and exploring, and then practicing and then revising and learning from each other, and then going back and looking at their work reflectively. So those are sort of the main things, and then we have rubrics that are sort of based on the standard space grading. So there'll be 1 through 4. And then along with this is the formative. So a lot of the work that I am having them do is they turn in as a participation grade, and that's a formative grade. So it's, a lot of them are no count, but you will see a mark in Skyward that gives you an indication of kind of where they fall along that. So it's a way for me to give them feedback without it being this major point system in their grade, in their final grade. All right, so the engagement habits of learning, you'll see that in Skyward. I just started that on September 18th. It's scored based on their behavior of participation, whether they're actually turning things in, they're engaged in on Zoom with their videos on, and that's something that's really important, to be participating in the actual discussion and breakout rooms. And my expectation is really just having them monitor how they're doing, and really an individual approach to each student and where they're at, so that they're they're looking at their work and striving to do their personal best, not based on comparing themselves to other students, but really looking at where are they going. And, you know, if it was really hard to create a line pattern in pen to start, and then they can see after several tries they actually did it, that's amazing. And that's really the kind of growth that I'm looking for. So here's what you can do. Encourage your child to keep trying and improving and stretching. It takes practice. So we'll be doing rough drafts and revisions and just really encouragement in that way, positive encouragement. And then just the overall support of the arts and remembering how important this subject is right now for kids to be able to have a place to express themselves in a unique way, that art is a universal language that we all can do. And I think it's just such an important time right now for kids to be able to have art in their lives. So if you please contact me if you have any questions, and I really appreciate your attention. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you at some point in the future.